Thank you, Payal. Okay, so I am the general evaluator for this evening, and I'll be giving you a rough update on how the meeting progressed till now. We started the meeting at 6:32 p.m., which was quite commendable, considering that when the meeting started, we had hardly 20 people on stage in the room. So the essay for the day, Ankur Jain. How many of you know Ankur Jain? Any of you guess? No. I guess you could see a really suave, well-dressed gentleman on stage. Ankur Jain is here, seated here. This was probably his first essay, first or second, very early stages in his essay journey. He happens to be the sergeant at arms for the coming session. And typically the sergeant at arms role is to introduce. He brings a certain amount of energy into the session, and Ankur Jain did this job fantastically. The way he presented himself in his attire, and he cracked a couple of jokes, so it set the mood for the session. Let us give him a big round of applause. Considering that we have 6 more months to go, there can be a lot more improvements possible. One small improvement which I would suggest is that you can look at people more often. You tend to start looking down, you start thinking and doing it. So you could probably spend more time looking at the audience. So anyway, very well done, Ankur. And Ankur introduced our outgoing president, who happens to be giving the last session for this Jan to June session. And typically, Ankur mentioned that Godfrey, our president, is very, sober, and he is warm, introducing the guests. Godfrey introduced the guests very warmly. And going out of tradition and keeping with the theme of humor at workplace is the best, considering that Toastmasters, this is our workplace, he introduced a lot of jokes. So we have, for a change, our Godfrey cracking jokes, pretty interesting jokes today. I guess everybody remembers those jokes. A small point, keeping in mind, going by the book of Toastmasters, those jokes were borderline veggies. So, anyway, but fantastic job done by Godfrey. Let's give him a big round of applause. And Godfrey handed the mic in between to our new incoming secretary, Mohammed Mujassim. Today was his first day that he presented the minutes of the meeting, and he, keeping in line and keeping in tune with the tradition which I am proud to say that I started. Whereas instead of reading out the minutes, we speak out the minutes. So for being it for the first time, doing it, he did a very commendable job. There was some starting trouble, but very good job done. Let's give him a big round of applause. Possibly, since it is early days, I would suggest that keep a copy. There is no problem in just referring to, absolutely no problem in referring to the, what you have written down. Okay, now moving on from the president to the prepared speeches. I'll come to the MC for the day at a later stage. The prepared speeches, the first speech was given by Santosh Jagtap. Help me welcome the evaluator Joseph Das to evaluate the speech.